RotoGrinders, 2 hours NBA DFS conversation, taking y'all straight up to lock. Myself and Chris Kirkwood, a.k.a. Kid Yahoo, a.k.a. Kid Baccarat, a.k.a. Kid Slots, a.k.a. Kid MMA, a.k.a. Kid Dad Life. What's up, Kirkwood? How are things in your world?
Kid Sports Bet.
Kid Sports Bet,
yeah,
there you go.
Since I last did a show with you, I had one more casino trip that went really poorly.
Sorry to hear that.
But Dad Life is interesting, keeping me on my toes. Playing some hoops tonight. Hoops is just getting crazy lately. It's gonna just keep getting crazier and crazier. But yeah, let's figure this slate out tonight.
Yeah, just did a let's see, what do we have as far as our lineup HQ, the tool here? 4:00 is for ownership stuff. As far as our actual projections, they are pretty up to date as of the last 20 minutes. Yeah, so it does have the most recent information with the absence of Wendell Carter, with the absence of Gary Harris for Orlando. The brothers Wagner, Mo will be drawing the start on DK. He's hitting some optimals pretty hard, not terribly surprising. DK tried, at least they tried as far as bumping up Tyus Jones's price, but good Lord. He was 3-1 over the weekend, which is outrageous. Shout out to Fanduel, who's at least, trying. And they're bumping him up to a reasonable asking price, the absence of John Morant. He's 4-9, Tyus Jones, right? Still a really, really, really strong play. If the Brunson burner doesn't go tonight, all of a sudden, it's going to be Tyus Jones, and it's going to be, Emmanuel Quickly went absolutely ballistic this weekend. I think he played like 50 minutes or so or something like that.
That was the night. That was the night that I lost a lot of money. I had Celtics heavy on the money line too.
Oh, and you needed 2 free throws, right? Was that different? That was the same game, or that was a different game?
No, different game. That was double overtime game.
Both games are double overtime because remember the one Grant Williams got fouled and there's a tie game.
I mean, that was yesterday. Not the Cleveland game yesterday.
Okay, yeah,
the Sunday Knicks game. Yeah.
That was a rough one. I'm sorry, but New York's been playing really well of late. Producer Steve not with us. Producer Devin is with us. Actually, producer Devin is back today, and this is a good segue. We'll talk about it a little bit later in the show. We're just going to tease it, but we are going to do a giveaway to those hanging out in the chat, those that are going to jump into our Discord channel. We'll give away some RG Premium, and we give away for RG Premium. It's not just for basketball; it's for all the sports, any sport you can think of, with the exception of NASCAR a la carte. That's Stevie's deal. But anything else, MMA, golf, obviously. Is there World Baseball Classic DFS? I didn't check to see if there was. I wonder if there is. But, that started today. Should be a lot of fun. I was looking at some of the rosters the other day. The Dominican looks pretty loaded. The DR, I was thinking about checking a game, like putting on pants, Kirkwood. I'm not too far from Miami. I think that'd be a fun atmosphere, but who knows? We'll see. Stay tuned for that.
Where are you now, Dean? Where's now?
I know. I'm like the Waldo or whatever. I'm currently in South Florida. We'll see for how long. But, I'm not exactly in Miami, but I'm it's not far. Yeah, sure. Yeah, shout out to Sunrise, Florida. Represent. The home of the Florida Panthers arena and the world's largest outlet mall. At least it was at one point. Sawgrass. Shout out.
You a big DeSantis guy?
I don't want to get into that. It's a quick way to derail the show. The people don't want it. They don't want to hear any of that. That's for another show in another forum, I suppose. But we have 8 gamer tonight. A lot of early games. I think 6 of the 8 start within an hour, right? 2 7:00 games. There's a 7:30 game. Actually, there's 2 7:30 games, and there's 2 8:00 games. 8:30 Utah versus Dallas. Utah has some body parts that we're monitoring as well. I feel like that's a potential blowout on layaway. And then the nightcap is Memphis at the Lakers. Back half of the ESPN doubleheader. Philadelphia, the front half of the ESPN doubleheader. We do have James Harden with what body part did they give him? Like a toe or a foot? What does he have? He's got something.
Foot.
He's
a foot. He's
got a foot, which is the toes. There's probably 10 of them. I haven't checked. I haven't confirmed. I don't subscribe to his whatever feet pics he's selling on the side.
You don't know on his OnlyFans?
I don't know.
I mean, it's probably doing toe. He was showing his toe on his OnlyFans, and it's real busted looking.
Well, it's a niche. Somebody's into it, I'm sure. James Harden's questionable. The big news, obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They said he's ill. He's not feeling particularly well, so he's not playing basketball tonight. And also Drew Holiday not playing basketball for Milwaukee. The Pistons will be attempting to play basketball back half of back-to-back. Of course, they ruled out a bunch of dudes because they are the Pistons. There is a plethora of value on this slate tonight, even more potentially on layaway. Jordan Clarkson is questionable. We talked about the Brunson burner. Kyle Kuzma is questionable as well. We have Wendell Carter that just got ruled out. We mentioned that one. D'Angelo Russell may come back. We'll see. Stay tuned to that. Oh, Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams, who's just been smashing for OKC. He's not playing basketball tonight for the Thunder. Do you have any overarching thoughts as far as the slate? There's you should like your lineups is my first thought. I feel like you should like your lineups tonight.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like there's like 10 locks already, and I know compliance. If you're looking, we're not supposed to use the term lock, but I think we can use the term lock in when it's talking about lineups. We can also say when lineups lock. But anyways, there's like 10 ridiculously good plays, like that. That they just missed price. I mean, if everything falls into place, like I'm thinking of it, like that's if Brunson's out, like we just have all these guards. We got Javon Carter, who's dirt cheap. We've got we've got Quickly potentially. We've got just plays everywhere. We got Tyus, like you said. And man, did they go off on Sunday night? It was Sunday night, right? Yeah, the other night. Tyus,
I believe so. Yeah, Tyus was 3-1 on Sunday, and I wanted to try to late swap into something else, but there was just nothing you can do. Like you just had to suck it up. I think he was what, like 90% owned and probably 10% too low. It was outrageous. I don't know what you're supposed to do there. You just have to play it, unless you were like banking on like a sprained ankle or something like that. And I'm not the guy rooting for injury, but
yeah. So, and we're gonna get more. I mean, if things start shaking out, so we've got a bunch of value plays. So we're gonna have high scores, and so like I'm not so worried about. I mean, if you look at last night, like chalk won last night. Like there's so many good chalk plays, you just got to suck it up tonight. And just be a little cognizant with your lineups and just have like one or two. It doesn't even have to be much to be out there, just a little bit,
Yeah, and if you want to spend up on Luka, you can get Luka tonight pretty easily. You can get Embiid tonight pretty easily. You can get Davis tonight pretty easily if that's what you want to do. Of course, Embiid will get a bump if Harden does not go. Really interesting conversation to have before we kind of go around the horn, game by game, knock it out. Chat, feel free to chime in, join the conversation. Going to keep my eye on the chat and see what y'all have to say. If you want to know why we didn't talk about so-and-so, or you want to call us out and say we're wrong about whatever, feel free. Go for it. Maybe we are. Certainly can miss something. Anything else here, Kirkwood, before we kind of dive in and knock it out?
No, I'm just updating things in my end here. So,
What are you updating? What are you doing? You're doing stuff a little on the fly? You're multitasking?
I am. I'm doing projections. I'm doing a lot of things, but we're good.
All right. We playing. How many sites you playing tonight?
Just my Yahoo. I don't know. I can't. It's even becoming impossible to play NBA with a newborn. To even just play one site is becoming impossible now. So it's
somebody told me it was just like having a dog, basically. Is that not? Can you confirm that's not true, actually?
So of course it's not like that. But in my case, in fairness to this discussion you're saying, when I was saying, I'm ready for this, no big deal, I can handle it. I had two of probably the hardest dogs. I'm talking spinal surgery, collapsed trachea. I had to give medicine around the clock, carry one. While one of them, just a lot of things. So I was like, it can't be harder, but it is. It's a lot harder.
We're gonna get
spoiler alert. It's a lot harder.
Kirkwood, we don't have a lot of time to delve in. I want to jump in, but we had this conversation yesterday. It was the 25th anniversary of the Big Lebowski. Yay or nay, Big Lebowski?
Medium. I mean, I'm not like I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. It's not like it's not one of my like favorite all-time movies like a lot of people.
Well, it doesn't have to be an all-timer, but
it's pretty good. I like what's the guy the guy from Rounders?
Jeff Bridges, the dude?
No, not the dude. The
John Goodman. Oh, John Turturro you're thinking of.
Yeah.
You're thinking of
what was his name? What was his name in it?
Knish.
What was his but Knish from Rounders. What's his name in that?
The Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, that's right. Great character.
Devin, you're on my side. A lot of times
you got me on that one, Dean. Yeah, you've won me over. You don't have to fight that hard.
You celebrated, Devin.
I didn't. I wasn't actually aware of it. No, and I didn't catch the show whenever you guys were going over it yesterday. I must have tuned in after that.
Andy Means poo-pooed it. Stevie refused to watch it. I think Roth is on my side. So we said the good people, the right people were on my side. That's all that matters.
We did confirm Corey Joseph watches Crunch Time, though. Immediate sitting.
Hey, Devin, since you're on, you might as well tell the people what's going on as far as the giveaway today in Discord.
Yeah, you know what? Why not? We'll go ahead and hit on that. We'll go till maybe 5:30 Eastern when we'll start up the Discord giveaway. Just hop in the RG Discord. You can see instructions here scrolling at the bottom of the screen. There's a live stream chat channel. We'll just take a number, any number between 1 and 1,000, and we'll go to random.org and we'll pull a number and give us some free premium.
Oh, 1 in 1,000 is really game theory.
I wanted to throw it up there. Yeah.
So, can I go over, or is it closest to the
closest without going over?
Ooh,
Price is
so
right.
If you throw out, nobody's going to say like 700, 800, 900. That's the move. That's the game theory, right?
We'll see. 1,000's a lot of numbers.
I would say, what's the optimal number to throw out there, Kirkwood? You're a smart guy.
No, I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm loading projections in here. But if we were talking Price is Right, it's amazing how stupid the people on Price is Right are. It is like I just need to get on that show and get up there. Like that's we all have life goals. Yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
Oh man.
Well, all right.
I'll let you
ever
guys
see
dive
Aaron
in.
Paul on Price is Right? That's a fun little clip to watch. When he was not on Breaking Bad, he was just some random dude. Okay, we will. There's another guy just like kept guessing 420 and everything, and of course, eventually he hit and he won. There you go.
Right,
I went down
we're
the
gonna get
Travis. What's that?
We're gonna get to the show. I just want to say one thing on bring up TV before we really start ripping into there. Don't worry, people. We're gonna give you the place. But Dean, you don't watch Snowfall, huh?
I've heard it's very good. It's on the list, but I have not watched it.
Man, this season is just fire. I gotta say that. Yeah, no spoilers, but
thank you for not spoiling it. But I've heard it's good.
It's a great show.
FX, it's about drugs, right? I think it's about drugs.
Drug dealers.
My understanding. Yeah. All right. And last season of Barry. I know we're big fans of Barry. You cannot wait to spoil the series finale, I'm sure. But that was announced today. But yeah, looking forward to when that comes out. All right, first game on the slate, we're going to talk about the Wizards. The Wizards at the aforementioned Detroit Pistons. I don't have a total. I don't have that in front of me. Do I have to give a refresh? It's not showing up on the. For some reason, it just says. What do you have? Let me know. What's the total here? How many?
Last
points
time I looked, it was
dollars?
223.
I can go to
Washington -9. Washington -9 at Detroit is what I had. 223 total, but I'll do a quick refresh here. Washington now is -10, 222 total.
Yeah, I mean the Pistons are horrific. Spoiler alert. Kuzma is questionable. He's got that knee. We're not sure about Monty Morris. Unlikely to give it a go. But Detroit is without, I want to say, at least 6 regulars, right? Bogdanovich, Jalen Duran, Beef Stew, all the same deal as yesterday. Hamidou Diallo got hurt at the end of the game yesterday, so he's not playing. One more guy. Whatever it was yesterday, he's out. Alec Burks, old. He's out. And Killian Hayes was out yesterday too. They did get Magruder back. That's exciting stuff. Rodney Magruder is back for Detroit. Looks like they have 10 actual bodies, but amongst those 10 is like R.G. Hampton, Roden, Boeheim's kid, and Corey Joseph, who's old. All right, but there is going to be some value here. Bagley, especially on DK, looks still pretty good at it looks really good actually at 5.5K. He's like 7K. On FanDuel, more realistic as far as the asking price. I like Ivy as well. Livers should play a pile of minutes. And again, as far as Washington, good matchup, fully healthy with the exception of Kuzma. Kuzma doesn't go, well, you tell me. What do we do? What do we do if Kuzma does not play tonight? What if he does play? Your thoughts as far as the Wizards? Let's lock them out first.
If Kuzma does not play, and it is a homecoming for him, I believe, if he doesn't play, we're playing. I mean, first of all, Bradley Beal looks freaking amazing when he's trying out there. Like no one can guard him. But we're playing the Zinger if that happens. I mean, obviously Gafford, we can always take a little piece of him, but Zinger kind of kills him. Denny Avdia will probably see the biggest minutes increase, and they'll probably start him again, I think, if Kuz is out. But if he comes back, he ruins it for pretty much everyone. But those guys are out. I mean, DeLon Wright is still in play because Monty Morris will be out. So I mean, this is a great matchup, right? Like you just got to hope this game stays competitive. I mean, there's insane value on the other side too. So
the problem with Wright is like he's a victim of the slate because Tyus Jones is so good and Javon Carter looks really good. And if you want to spend up, you can spend up on Luka. Jaden Ivey looks really, really solid. If Brunson doesn't go quickly, he's really good. So like Wright is fine, but like for me, as of right now at least, he's not a priority. Like he's okay in a vacuum.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he's like a good tournament play who was chalk the other night. But
yeah. Is he though? Like, what is his ceiling? Well, what could he possibly do out there?
He looks pretty good. I don't know if you've been watching him.
He's all right.
He looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Get you those steals.
We have the what if, by the way. If Kuzma happens to be out tonight, our projection for Porzingis will jump up to 49 DK points, 48 Fanduel. Positive value for Beal. Beal will jump to 42-41, which is really solid. Wright will be a positive. He's around 30, 32 as far as his projection. You mentioned Gafford, and the same deal. Like Gafford's fine, but like I'm how do you roster him over Tillman, Portis? If you want to spend up, you can get Embiid. Bagley looks really good. Of course, Bagley you can throw a power forward as well, but Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. and then obviously Memphis is pretty thin as well tonight. I don't know how to get to Gafford.
I'm talking. It's just tournament, a little sprinkle.
What about Detroit? And we always say this, like Detroit is terrible, but they're pretty cheap. They're pretty thin. They're not going to get shut out. They're going to put like 100 points in the bucket, give or take. Ownership is outrageous on Bagley. And like he's basically blowout proof, right? He's been out there getting run no matter what. We're giving him 34 minutes. He's a fantasy point minute guy. 39 point projection is really huge. Even if he gets like 35 or even 32 or whatever, it's not really going to hurt you. But the ownership is 48% here, Kirkwood. Outrageous. That's on DK. On FanDuel, it's going to be less. Your thoughts as far as Bagley and the rest of these Pistons?
I mean, Wiseman being out is just huge, just solidifies him. I mean, he's going to play all the minutes he can handle. I mean, they still do have a bunch of guys. Granted, I'm not really familiar with the whole entire squad tonight, but
Wiseman got out.
I thought Wiseman was out. Why did I say that then?
I don't know. What did I? Durant's out, and Beef Stew is out, and Bogdanovich is out, and Hayes is out, and Burks is out. But Wiseman now is it.
And there you go. First of all, Bagley was awful last night. Did you play him?
Yeah, I mean, of course I did. He was bad, but you're just playing results by saying that.
I'm just pointing it out that he's not. If him and Wiseman are going to be splitting minutes, he's not guaranteed to smash. Is what I'm saying at 55%.
They started together.
Yeah, but I'm saying like so you look at if you just take their total minutes, right? Wiseman got 24, Bagley plays more, 36, but they could go and play either of them at the center position, if one's playing poorly and they want to change it. I mean, Dwayne Casey does so many stupid things that it's not outside of the realm.
He only has so many options, to be fair. Like the pieces.
I know. So let's go down these other. Tell me about the other people. Tell me about this Eugene Omari.
I don't think we have to worry about him because the slate is too good. That's my official answer. That's kind of where I'm at. Like,
I'm just saying, like this game stinks. I mean, it's a great. I'm just saying, there's pieces here that could bust, is what I'm saying. Like, and I can just see Dwayne Casey ruining my night. They're both great plays, but they're obviously Bagley is the highest ownership on the slate, right?
I think so. On DK,
I mean, I'm gonna have him on my one. I'll be playing him in my one lineup over on Yahoo tonight. But if I was maxing DK, which I thought about doing, but then I decided not to because I just can't take all this news. But I would lower Bagley and I would bump up Wiseman is what I would do.
All right, Omari in 14 minutes this season's got a 20% usage, a 0.42 fantasy points per minute. That's obviously horrific. It's only 14 minutes. I don't know much about him. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But again, my thought process was I don't know much about Boeheim's kid either, but I'm not playing Buddy Boeheim. It's not happening.
I've watched him at least.
Yeah. He's
didn't
played
watch him in
6 minutes
college?
this year.
You didn't watch him in college, I'm saying.
Did he go to Syracuse? Where did he go?
Yes, Syracuse.
Well, I wonder how he got that gig.
Just completely random.
He's a big fan of upstate New York, I'm sure. I think Ivy's my second favorite guy in Detroit, for the record. I think ownership actually reflects that, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. We got Ivy at 14%. And the tricky part is like point guard can be loaded, especially if Brunson doesn't go like quickly. It's just outrageous. We've already talked about Tyus Jones, and if you want to spend up on Luka, you're out of point guard spots. But Ivy looks pretty solid, 5.8. The price didn't really get bumped up. Livers is fine, 20%. I think Corey Joseph is somebody, again, I'm not going to be on Corey Joseph. No. 17% ownership. I know he's 3.1K. He probably plays like 25 minutes or so, but he's old. They rested Burks. They have no interest in getting Joseph a bunch of run, as far as I can tell. So if that's a stand, there you go. I'm not playing Corey Joseph tonight. How about that?
Yeah, but so like this is the game. Like, so this is the second half of a back-to-back. All these guys are out. Ivy played 31 minutes last night. I kind of like Ivy the best probably, but Livers played 39 minutes. Like, so some of these, like, it's not outside of the realm to think that it could be, someone like Corey Joseph that just gets a lot of minutes in this game. Like, what the hell do they care? They don't. It's I get it.
There's like a lot. He stinks. He's like a 0.57 per minute. That's just, he's got to play 34 minutes.
He had a decent game last night. At his salary. I mean,
yeah. Well, let me ask you this: the positions are different, right? But in theory, a 3K guy, some nights it's like, 3K. Some nights when you're desperate for a salary to open up, you'll take 20 points at 3K and you'll lock it in, no more, no less, and you're happy about it. That's not tonight. Like, your 3K guy's got to put up at least 25, correct?
Well, he's getting some ownership too tonight. I thought he was going to be low, so no, scratch that. There's so many good guards tonight. I'm with you. Sorry.
You're talking about Joseph, right? Or
Corey Joseph. It took me a little bit to get there, but I'm with you. We can dump him.
Yeah. I have no interest in Corey Joseph. If that's what beats me tonight, so be it. I'll tip the cap, and then we'll move on. Anything else as far as Washington and Detroit?
No, but if Kuzma's out, I will love Bradley Beal. I will like Porzingis, and I will want some right. Which
one do you prioritize, Beal or Porzingis, or is it just kind of like how it fits your lineup? Is because obviously different positions.
I think Porzingis is going to nuke tonight.
I think so too. I
just think this is going to be such a sloppy game for him to just get to pile up blocks to just get a bunch of points down low. Also, he likes to shoot the three. No one's going to guard him. It's just this could be a massive spot for him.
Okay, Milwaukee and Orlando also at 7:00. Orlando is a 3-point dog here at home, despite the fact no Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's out this evening with an illness. Also, of course, for Milwaukee, the other big deal is that Drew Holiday is not playing tonight because I believe he's got a neck. Yeah. All right. And Goran Dragic, whatever it's worth, not going to be playing tonight. Orlando, same deal as last time. No Gary Harris, no Wendell Carter Jr. I'm not sure I think Schofield got hurt last game. He's out for whatever it's worth tonight. Not much. One of their bigs that would not play many minutes at all. So Milwaukee, without their two biggest usage guys, the Bucks, they're going to be pretty appealing here. How much are you prioritizing Milwaukee? How much Milwaukee is too much Milwaukee? We're seeing 40% ownership on Javon Carter, which is a huge number. Chris Middleton, the price is up. We saw him in the mid-5s. Now he's at 6.4K on DK. We're giving him 29 minutes, which might be a little optimistic, to be honest. Has he seen 29 minutes all season? I feel like
no. But they just started increasing him. They put him up to 27 in the last game, and they took him officially off the injury report today, which is a good sign. So you got to expect a little bit of a bump up here. So it seems like he's ready to start going.
Question: You said start going. Does he start? I don't think we've seen him start.
I think he's going to start. I think he'll start.
Okay, we haven't seen it yet. I'm pretty sure he's not started all season, unless I've missed it. He did play 29 minutes several times last calendar.
I think the
year,
key was
December.
him being taken off the injury report. Like, I think it's like, okay, it's time. But maybe I'm
And we
wrong.
know,
I didn't read any
yeah.
but quotes today. I don't know. That's just the way I take it. I read.
Usage bump, of course, for Middleton in the absence of Holiday, in the absence of Giannis. And then there's Bobby Portis, who, like, sometimes you just sort of lock and load this one, but his price is kind of it's mid sixes, 6.3K. He's fine. He's a solid play, 20% as far as ownership. Grayson Allen gets bumps as well. We're expecting 30 minutes out of him, 13%. How are you prioritizing the Bucks?
Javon Carter is just dirt cheap. Had that massive game against Chicago. Has been shooting, like, he came out firing from three the other day, 2 days ago against Washington in the game that I was watching. I mean, he's going to be able to handle. They're going to have to give him a bunch of minutes in this game. So I like, he's a priority. Portis, I'm like, he's okay. I like Portis. Don't get me wrong, but like a guy that, like, who in the same spot, and they're like pretty much the same price. Brook Lopez always goes like criminally underowned.
Yeah, but he's a center and center only, and it's hard to get him
in these spots. Yeah, but you can do it on DraftKings.
Yeah, you can, but I like the flexibility of power forward stuff. Hey, let me ask you a question. How much of a sample size you need on Middleton without Holiday, Giannis Antetokounmpo, to feel like it actually means something? Because I ran the old court IQ. I took Giannis off. I took Holiday off. And Middleton's rates are outrageous. I'm talking like, I want to say this is like Dame Lillard style, like as far as his usage. Do you know what his usage is offhand? Have you checked this out by chance?
I don't. But yeah, I would say it's common sense. Me personally, I wouldn't even look at quarter. I don't need to look at court IQ to know that Middleton's usage is going to be ridiculously high this evening.
Well, yes, high, but we're talking about, okay, so on the season, I'll tell you this. On the season, Middleton's usage is, let me see if I can do some UCF math here. Looks like it's about 27% on the season. Okay? So what is it without Holiday and without Giannis? 59 minutes.
40%.
Dame Lillard on the season, by the way. Dame on the season, 34% usage. Just as like a scale. And it's a good, you know what? Because we're playing Price is Right rules, you lost. It's a good guess.
Went over. Well, you made it 39, so I was right there. I mean,
39.8. I framed it where the number is obviously high.
We didn't agree to do the Price is Right for this game, but okay.
It's implied unless otherwise noted. That's the official rules of guessing. You know that.
Okay, so I think it's a big sign for them taking him off the injury report. I think he's going to get a few extra minutes tonight. I think he's going to be massive usage. He's playing with a bunch of. I mean, it's not Javon Carter is going to shoot everyone. But the thing is, everybody's so cheap. So you're getting like massive elite usage out of a guy in a pretty, what should be a pretty competitive game. The Bucks are down to like, what are they, like 1.5 point favorites? I mean, they're still favored. Yeah.
Are you hitting sides and solos now and player props?
They're actually at 3. I'm not doing props yet.
No.
But I do hit. I see it's not online yet until next week.
Oh, outrageous.
So I have to go physically, but they have like a little drive-through pretty much for like kiosks. You go in, they have your own little parking. You go walk into this little little bunch of kiosks, sports betting kiosks, and you go in there and you can place your bets there if you need to do it in a rush.
Jumping back in, let's go ahead and get that giveaway going. Everybody jump in the live stream chat channel in the Discord. Drop your guess between 1 and 1,000, and we'll come back to it and get the answer in about maybe 5-10 minutes. Gives people some time.
The game theory guess is like what, 779? I think is a good. How about that? That's my game theory guess.
I mean, how many times are you going to get a number above 500? 75.
Half the time.
Shot in the chat.
A couple questions here in chat, Kirkwood, that are kind of sort of somewhat similar. Monty Morris is out. Thank you. He was doubtful. TJ is saying 669. I think I know it's a fun guess, but I think it's got to be a little bit higher than that. A little bit higher. Be a little bit more ambitious. It's okay to swing and miss, but if you hit the ball and you're swinging hard, it might go over the fence. That's in the RotoGrinders Discord, by the way. RotoGrinders.com/Discord. We're giving away Devin, we didn't even officially say, is it 1 week free, 2 weeks free?
It's
we get
one week,
winner,
1
two
week
winners?
free, and then we'll do 2 winners. We'll see how the first one goes, but we'll take 2 winners.
Yeah, and it just like the roulette wheel, like if the first number is like 779, you got to adjust your second guess because the first number clearly dictates what.
Well,
the second
Dean, hang
number is
on
gonna
now.
be.
You're giving the people wrong info. One guess now. No, there's no multi-guessing here. We're not multi-entering. This is single entry.
Oh, so the number's locked in for 2 spins. I got you.
Correct. Yes, single entry only.
Okay. Fair enough. Get the wife, you get a +1 and double your chances. But all right, let's see. What will we talk about? Hey, they want to know, Kirkwood, are you putting any sort of cap as far as players you're willing to roster on a team? They're asking if you're running 150, would you play more than 3 on any team? I don't think I would on this slate. There's goodness all around, but I think you can get the 3.
Yeah, I think I would
as
have.
As far as the number of bucks, go ahead.
I would have max 3, and then I would do it probably take and then I would do a max 3 total, but like in probably one of those is probably Middleton, so I would then do like a max of 2 between like Grayson Allen,
Portis.
Yeah, Portis, Carter.
Okay.
And then like allow them Middleton that's probably how I would do it actually.
I hate to be the guy just like, well, this is good and that's good. You can play that, you can play this, but that's kind of where we started as far as this slate. It's going to simmer down as we move on. But the Orlando side, right? No Harris, no Wendell Carter. If you just look at the Magic stuff, we're seeing 32% ownership on Mo Wagner, center only. We're projecting him to play 33 minutes, which is that's a big number for sure. Pretty strong fantasy point minute player. I think he's right around a point per minute. If you do the math, that looks really strong. Your thoughts as far as Mo Wagner? And again, this is just kind of where we're at. There's so much value out there. It's sort of forcing you, again, you don't have to, but it's kind of forcing you into stars and scrubs, making it easy to spend up on, if you want to spend up on Embiid, you want to spend up on Porzingis, you want to spend up on Luka. That's the way you want to go, the route you want to take. Mo Wagner, by the way, on the season, averaging 1.01 DK points per minute, exactly one on Fanduel. So there you go. We hit that's when you win both showcase showdowns. You say his fantasy point minute, nailed it. Mo Wagner and the rest of the Magic, where are you at?
Yeah, and it's a pace up spot. Like I think Milwaukee will still run, and play fast. And so you get the pace up spot. I mean, you look at Mo Wagner, and I have him for 30 minutes right now. And if that's the case, like he's just gonna smash at his price. So it's like he's somebody like you gotta use tonight. So he's good chalk in my opinion. The guy that I would probably who else? So I would probably try to play more Banchero, and he does everything. So so I like that. I know he's a little bit pricey, but there's so much value on the slate. But I would probably prioritize him number 2 as opposed to like Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs. Suggs would be my least favorite of the group. And then like Fultz is going to get low ownership. So, and I know that, all these guards are eating into his, the minutes ceiling isn't quite there, although he did get 35 minutes in his last game, which is good for him. He's usually right around 30, 31, 32. But 6,200, I could definitely play some of him too. So those would be my guys.
Steven in chat wants to know about Bull. That is way too ambitious for me in this slate. No, I would not play Bull. Would you play Bull tonight?
I've got him pegged for 16 minutes.
That's a no.
Yeah, probably not. But he's 3,200, so it's
yeah, but you think he's going to score 1.5 fantasy points per minute?
I mean, the guy is an animal out there. He's pretty good.
He's a lot of fun to watch, but you don't get any bonus points for like between the legs and dunking from the free throw line. That's fun, but no, I'm not rostering Bull. What story you got to tell yourself for him to get there? For him to be the guy.
Mo Wagner gets hurt, foul trouble.
Okay, that's possible.
Yeah,
and even then, he's fun to watch, but I'll just. Boban's fun to watch too, right? I'm not rostering Boban these days either.
That's true.
Moving on. Yes, I think we're moving on.
But I would roster Boban at 17 or 16 minutes if that was the case.
Maybe. I don't know about this slate, but maybe.
I mean,
he is on
everybody.
this slate.
A couple of years ago, everyone he was
was the
we would be
greatest.
jamming. Yeah. 15 minutes of Boban, you can't lose.
He's like 34, so this might be it. I don't know when his contracts are up. I can't imagine he's going much longer, unfortunately. Philadelphia is in Minnesota. First half of that ESPN doubleheader, 228.5 is a total. Philadelphia looks like they're 3-point dogs here. The big news for Philly is that we have James Harden. He's got a foot, therefore he's questionable. PJ Tucker has a back, so he's questionable. And Tobias Harris is also questionable. Minnesota basically fully healthy. Cat will be back soon at some point, but not tonight. Jalen Noel is still out, but otherwise they are basically fully healthy. The same team we've seen for a while now. Do we have a what if on Harden? I assume we do. What will be the biggest impact? Like Maxey would get a bump. Melton would get a bump. I don't know. I don't know how much. Yeah, like Yang would get some run, but nothing that I don't think is worth chasing. Yeah, your thoughts is I'm talking about like if Harris and Tucker are out as well. We saw what's his name play pretty good. Was it McDaniel play pretty solid for them? But again, I don't know if any of that stuff excites me. It's mostly
he's like hit or I mean he's like Vanderbilt too. Like he can just be really bad on the offensive end. But when everything great defensive player, and when everything clicks right for him and he's making shots, you see, he had a good game, big game like he did against the Pacers. But I like him. He's 3,100, right? So if these other guys are out, he's definitely in play. And Maxey is going to be great. If it's Harden or even if it's just Tobias Harris and Tucker, then 5,800 Maxey, sign me up anyway. But he'll be a smash. If Harden's out, he'll be an absolute smash. He'll be a must play.
My apologies on my mic. I'm trying to figure it out, and I thought it was going to be okay for the show. And if it's getting goofy, sorry. I'm trying to power through, but we are working on that. Are aware, but Kobe just wants me to stop talking. If you want to just do the show the rest of the way, Kirkwood, I'm okay, and I can just kind of mime. Like I can give you thumb up, thumb down.
How about this? Let's send a link to Kobe. And let's have Kobe and I'll do it. Let's go.
There you go. It's getting wonky according to Taylor in chat. So
you sound great to me, but I don't know if I'm hearing something different.
Kobe's in. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get Kobe on here. What do you got? You got a mic or you got to use the computer?
I don't know. Green screen, get the whole deal. Kobe, is Kobe ready to
go? Kobe, tell me what you're working with.
All right, I'll take the time. I'll take this time because we're clearly doing some nonsense here to take some winners here for this random generator here. So we have our guesses. I have the sheet set up. Going to generate the answer 1 through 1,000. Any last minute guesses, Dean?
12. I think the sharp move actually, since we discussed it, we moved the needle a little bit. I think the sharp move was to pick like 130 because nobody's going that low.
We do have Gregorius the Wise in chat, threw down the gauntlet. All right, so some last minute guesses here coming in, but we'll take those. Gregorius the Wise in chat took 1,000, so we'll see if that one pans out for him, Cotton.
The other sharp move.
Wow.
What is the number?
966. It actually got pretty close. All right.
Who's got the highest number?
Who has the highest without going over?
Well, you can't imagine if somebody went over, they should just be kicked out for forever.
Well, they went over. One of them went to 1,000. So Gregorius the Wise, unfortunately.
Well, he was just screwing around. He probably had premium already. I don't know.
Who is
he would add a week on.
Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath himself in Discord.
Oh. What was the number?
879 was the guess.
Love it. There you go. That's how it's boom bust, right? Swing for the fences. There you go. Make some content.
All right, so that's a winner. We'll come back and we'll get this here in a little bit. We'll run another one. I'll reach out to you in Discord.
K-Town's finest. Any chance any of these chalk under 5K players fail to reach 7X? Well, it depends how many you're talking about, but there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly which ones you're talking about, but and even like 7X at 3K is kind of useless, right? I think that's kind of useless. It's not going to destroy you, but it's kind of useless if you want to win something. Yes.
I
Is
like
Kirkwood
Javon
with
Carter,
me?
but there's a rule. There's a world where he doesn't 7x tonight.
Yeah, I think there is too. We've seen him like kind of disappear on occasion, but he's had a wide range of outcomes. I would say that. And again, the position's really strong. And I would love to know the Brunson information because that matchup versus Charlotte is incredible. If Quickly somehow gets to start in the absence of Brunson currently questionable, it would just be such a strong play. No update on Kuzma for what it's worth. Kuzma's still a game time decision. Nothing else going on as far as body parts and injuries. Embiid 15% as far as ownership, and I think it'll get pushed up a little bit if Harden doesn't go. But we already talked about it. The center position is really strong. He's got to put up at least 60. I think he's got to put up at least 60 to like even get somewhat excited about him. But certainly he can. His projection around 57. I think Anthony Edwards is an interesting run back here for tournaments. 1.5% is our ownership right now. He's kind of priced up. We saw Philly give up a pile of points to Indy yesterday. Halliburton just had his way against Philadelphia. I know they're supposed to be a pretty good defensive team. I know they play pretty slow as well. But, for large field stuff, I think Edwards is an interesting run back. Otherwise, Minnesota for me, Kirkwood, you tell me. Not very appealing. Like slow-mo Kyle Anderson's okay, but what is his ceiling? He's kind of, 9.87 and a couple stocks. That's what he's going to do. And maybe give you 35 points, which is fine. But, I don't really think I need anything else on Minnesota if I'm playing single entry, 3-entry max stuff. Talk to me about the T-Wolves. This is probably my least favorite team that we've talked about so far, I believe.
Yeah, so it's a good matchup for Edwards, and especially they become, this is a different. It's kind of a much thinner team if all these guys are out. If like Tucker's out, Tobias is out, so game could play a little weird. The problem with Edwards is he looks like he's completely like run down to me at this point in the season. He's been playing so many minutes. So ever since his 40-point-minute game against Chicago, I mean, his last two matchups couldn't have gotten much better against Sacramento and the Lakers, and he didn't get there in either. In that he had a tight game against Sacramento, and there was they scored 138 points, and he got you 43 fantasy points. I think we can do better than him. I get it if he's going to be low owned. Sure, he could always he's insanely talented. He could always have a big night, but I think Slow-Mo is probably the guy here, but. Man, I mean, you're playing with fire with him too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like he's okay, but like, is he going to break a slate? Like, almost definitely not.
No, but he's going to be somewhat owned, but he's not going to be too high owned. So he's kind of a good pivot off some of these like 7x guys, 6x guys that we're thinking here. So you have to. I like the spot. He's only 5,800. He does have the upside. This game could be pretty good. And I'm not really messing around with like. There's just not enough minutes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like I'm trying. Like Jaden McDaniels is fine, but he's.
Come on, we don't need that.
I think he's fine. I think you could use that at 4,700 tonight.
By the way, defense versus archetype matchup tool pointed out there in chat. Just kind of pulled it up. Basically, it's not like teams against centers, whatever. This is very specific as far as a very specific skill set. If you call Anthony Edwards a scoring wing, the matchup for Philadelphia is the best matchup, best year, defense versus archetype, number one. By the way, we didn't talk about it before, but Porzingis has the number one matchup as well for versatile bigs. And I think you can call him a versatile big for sure. That's the best matchup facing Detroit. Question in chat. I see that Derek wants to know anyone like Kyrie to go over 6 assists. If you happen to have RotoGrinders Premium, well, here, we're giving it away, by the way. We gave it away already. We'll give it away again. Feel free to throw a dart at it. There's a lot of things you can get. One of the things you can get is not just actual projections, but projection as far as, a breakdown of how many points, how many rebounds, how many assists, how many threes, points and assists, points, rebounds, and assists. We'll do the math for you. I just pulled up Kyrie on the fly. There's really no advantage to that wager. We're currently projecting him to 6.15 as a median projection for assists. So, like, technically we're projecting him to have over, but that's not something that I would necessarily gravitate to. There's a lot of other wages that are more appealing. So there you go. Feel free to check that out, Derek, if you're not aware. or try to win yourself a week free of RG Premium in the Discord momentarily. Derek wants to know Edwards or Markkanen. I prefer Edwards, and one of the reasons why is Markkanen's going to get blown out. I think Dallas blows out Utah tonight. But go ahead.
Man, it's tough. I think so too. But Dallas's defense is so bad at the moment that
it is. But their offense is so good too.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same thought process. And like I think Edwards has been like looked a little worn down to me. Don't get me wrong; he's got like a massive ceiling, right? Like, and you look at they're playing in high scoring total games. You're looking at the way that Philly played the other night was massive total in that game. Halliburton went off against them. So Edwards could obviously do the same. So don't get me wrong. But he's not nowhere near my favorites on this slate. And either is I'm kind of off Embiid. I get you can always play Embiid, but like I just look at like Anthony Davis and I just think that he's such a better play than Embiid tonight.
I agree. But what if Harden's out?
All right, Brunson's out. Yeah,
Wait, Brunson's out?
Yeah, Brunson's out.
Okay, so quickly. Like now, yeah. So here's the thing: we run out of point guards really quickly. So you're that as a pun, it just sort of worked out that way. You're playing Emmanuel Quickly. You're playing Tyus Jones, right? That's your 2 point guards. And I think they're both point guard and actually, Quickly's shooting guard, isn't he? I think he is. Let me just confirm that. What's his versatility? Oh, he's a shooting guard. Okay. Well, okay. So Quickly, we're getting in the game right now. I don't know how you not play Emmanuel Quickly against the Hornets.
Against Charlotte. I mean, of course. Yeah,
come on. What are we doing here? He's 5K, and I don't know how to avoid that. That's such a.
And he has so much swag going for him right now too.
The swag.
Did you watch that,
Charlotte?
I mean, it's yes.
He took care of your Celtics, man. He buried them.
Correct. And he was skipping and like smiling. He was doing this that laugh.
He's a fun player.
Yeah, I mean he's ridiculous. He's insanely good. So he'd be my number. He's my number one play tonight now.
Wait, D Rose might start? Why would Derrick Rose start? What? This is according to breaks in chat. Derrick Rose. What? No, Quickly's going to start. Why wouldn't Quickly start in this game? Unless. Yeah. Am I missing something about Derrick Rose? No, he's not playing, right? When's the last time you saw him? He played a couple minutes in February. Okay. He played 2 minutes the entire month. The entire calendar year, Derrick Rose has played. I would be shocked if Derrick Rose draws the start tonight. I don't know why that would be speculation. But that's the next game, right? New York versus Charlotte. 226 is the total. New York happens to be a 10-point favorite here. No Brunson. That's a big deal. Therefore, Quickly becomes just an absolutely awesome play. Don't expect him to drop the 70 burger he dropped the other day, but of course he doesn't need to do that. Ownership-wise in this game, interestingly enough, the biggest one is Mitch Rob at 4.9K at center. Good matchup there against Charlotte. Pretty good chance at a double-double. And if he gets some stock variance in his way, going in his favor, he certainly can get put up a big score. But Mitch Rob.
Oh, does it worry you a little? Does it worry you a little that he played 55 minutes? Does Tibbs care at all?
Tibbs, Hartenstein came in and got 2 quick fouls, and I think he got thrown back to the bench. Tibbs, it's outrageous. Well, you're asking me about Robinson or Brunson because they both.
No, I was going back to. I'm just saying quickly. Does it bother you? Does it bother you that he? Yeah.
No. I mean,
one day arrest, he can go 60 tonight. Yeah.
He's gonna play, barring goofiness, like at least 37 minutes.
He's the easiest play in like ever. So you play quickly, that's what you do. Josh Hart could be a hell of a play in this game at low ownership.
This slate is shaping up to be like a 2v2 or like a 3v3. It seems like, and again, like. It's going to be so clear. Am I hearing Devon's mic come on, or someone got his mic? Is that your mic, Kirkwood? You're doing a little adjustments on the fly?
I hit mute because I coughed. RJ Barrett played really solid against the Celtics. I'm kind of anti him in general. I think you can take the really low ownership tonight and go with like Josh Hart, who does a little bit of everything, could pick up a bunch of blocks and steals against against the Hornets.
Antoine Walker, so the Knicks aren't going anywhere in the playoffs because Derrick Rose is not in the rotation. That is I don't know anything about that. That's a weird quote. Bridges over Quickly is a question. They're distinctly different as far as the asking price. I love Bridges. Bridges is really well positioned. I think he's still, especially in like the player prop market, like he's still a little bit too low. Matchup against Houston. Houston horrific defensively, gives up more threes than anybody else in the league. But the price has adjusted. I don't know how to answer that question, Kirkwood. I love Bridges, and like it sort of depends on what the rest of your lineup looks like, but I'm prioritizing Quickly over Bridges now. I'm fine getting both if I can make both work. You have a thought on that?
Well, he's 8,100.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just it's two different prices. So
yeah, like they're not even in the same vicinity for price range. But I love Bridges tonight.
Yeah, let me see if we had an if then prepared for this. I'm sure it's an outrageous projection. Okay, we did. Our Quickly projection is. Do you want to guess what it is? What would you guess? And Price is Right rules. I don't feel like I have to say this. It's always implied. But Price is Right rules, are in play.
40 burger.
Yeah, we got him for 41 on DK and 39 on FanDuel. So the judges will accept that. I assume you're answering for DK. So that was a solid answer. That was a good projection guess. And everybody else gets, Randall gets bumped up. Everybody, like you said, Barrett. Their rotation is so sweet. It's basically 5 guys. It's whatever 6. Quickly, Barrett, Robinson, Randall, Hart, Grimy, Quentin Grimes. You're not
the only concern would be if for some reason Tibbs would want to limit his minutes because he played him 55 minutes last game, or he's just completely tired. But he's not going to be tired, and Tibbs is going to be Tibbs, so he's going to play massive minutes again.
Charlotte, the only one really getting ownership here is Oubre. Oubre getting 10%. Rozier getting 2%, which is kind of sort of somewhat interesting, I guess. But, it's not a very appealing team. It's not a very appealing matchup. Prices have adjusted with LaMelo being out. I don't have a lot to say as far as the Charlotte side. Convince me otherwise.
I mean, the usage for Kelly Oubre has been elite. He did have 2 games he did fall off against Brooklyn, but he's getting all the minutes he can handle. Rozier would make the most sense. I'm not playing a gutless Gordon Hayward no matter what.
He's not gutless. He's broken down. What do you want from the guy? He's gutless. Have you seen the injuries he's gone through? He had a good run, but it's basically over.
DSJ maybe a little bit.
Revenge game?
No, I mean he's the same price as Quickly. It's ridiculous.
But he's a guard and gets loaded. Like, how do you play him?
That's what I just said. It's ridiculous. He's the same price as Quickly. I mean, like you can use one of the Oubre or Rozier are the guys with ceilings.
Let's knock out the Warriors. The Warriors, OKC, 244. Wow, that's a monster total. Golden State happens to be a 4-point favorite tonight in this game. No Jalen Williams is out for OKC. Kenrich Williams, of course, out. Golden State, Looney is questionable. Kevon Looney, I'm pretty sure, somebody Google this, has the longest consecutive games played streak in the association.
Correct.
Around 200 or so. Like, he seems to actually care about that too.
He wants to be the Cal Ripken of the NBA.
Well, I don't know if he's playing that many games in a row, but it's Iguodala's back in our lives to some degree. He's playing basketball now for Golden State. Draymond's got that
everybody's back except Wiggins.
Yeah, it looks well except Gary Payton. I guess was he ever really there? Kind of, sort of, somewhat.
I mean, he's incredibly impactful, but not DFS.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge his existence, I suppose. Yeah, your thoughts as far as this game? They've talked about it monitoring SGA's minutes through the rest of the season, back-to-back stuff. They might rest him, but for sure. Here's the thing: like, SGA is going to get no ownership because, wait for it, he's a point guard, and same deal with Steph Curry because, wait for it, he's also a point guard. We're looking at 4-5% ownership on both. They're both fine plays, but it's just lineup construction. And by the way, this ownership is before we're getting the update on everybody going the quickly. So yeah, these guys going to be crazy low owns, and nobody in this game is getting more than 10% outside of a pinch. Dante DiVincenzo at 10%, 11%. Yeah, it's a super appealing game. It's not going to be owned for reasons based upon how the slate is structured. Interesting. I think this is a really interesting tournaments game, large field stuff, because again, point guards are so good and guards are so good. You need Steph to put up like 70, 65 to matter, I think, or like the other guys to just really, really flop. What's your take?
Yeah, so like I don't see Steph getting to like a ceiling Steph minutes limit. So I think it's pretty hard for him to nuke the slate. Although this game is ridiculously juicy, right? Like 244 point total. These guys both playing insanely fast. Warriors top in pace. The OKC third in pace. The OKC side has more appeal because they're without, the good Jalen Williams tonight, who takes up a bunch of usage. They do have other guys that they can spin it off to. This whole like fake minutes limit thing with Shea, I don't know. I don't.
Well, okay, so you can't decide if they want to actually get in the playing game or not. Like, who knows, right? They're kind of playing games with that.
I mean, he played 41 minutes, followed about 37 minutes the next night. So I think we just have to throw that out the window and just until we start seeing it, like assume that he's going to get, if this game is competitive. The
41 was 2 weeks ago. That was his first game back. He played 37. But yeah, your point,
which is ridiculous. And so I'm just saying that he's playing 41 minutes and then first game back 37 minutes. So I think we can just throw that out the table, throw it off the table. But I mean, and you can't. They're crazy anyway. With they come out with like a different starting unit in the second half. So many times. But so Shea, I think, is an awesome tournament play. Giddey, I think he's fine, but I don't know. With Shea back, seems a little bit tougher. I mean, he did just have a massive game with him again against Utah. I think Golden State defense is a little bit tougher, although they're not. They're a much better defense at home and with Wiggins on the court. But still, I don't think Giddey. I'm not.
Looney would hurt him too if he doesn't play. I'm just assuming Looney plays because he always plays. But if he doesn't go, that'll be a slight hit to their defense.
We can't play pool anymore with Steph back. So it's Clay's price is ridiculous because Steph's been away. So it's pretty tough to get any love. That's why he's the only reason we price guy. He's getting any love. But I'm all like, no, thank you for Dante DiVincenzo tonight when we've got all these other guys like. Just wasting a spot, in my opinion. But
do we want to give away another week free of RG Premium, Devin? You want to spin the wheel? Are people that like maybe have jumped in since we called the first one? Can they throw a number in there? Can they participate?
No, Dean. As mentioned earlier in the contest, this is a single entry, not a multi-entry.
No. What if they didn't enter? They just joined the show like 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, we're taking guesses for people that dropped in their guesses in the Discord. Yeah. A few people. Once I was announcing the first one, they said, "Oh crap, I haven't answered yet." So yeah, no, we got the other ones in there. So let's go ahead and throw this in there. Another one.
That's a
701. Still above the halfway point, and it looks like that puts us at who's the winner for today? 701. Closest guess is Breed 3TM 589.
Nobody didn't do 669. Not one person. That would have been a winner.
Dean, if memory serves, that was in the YouTube chat, and as the instructions stated, guesses are taken from the Discord channel. So Breed 3TM is our current winner. I'll reach out in Discord.
Kirk, what do you think Draymond's distinctly improves if Looney doesn't play? I don't think so. Maybe
I think a tiny bit. I think Kuminga is the guy that would improve there because there'd just be more minutes for him potentially. I think you give Green a little bit of a boost, but I think Kuminga would be a better beneficiary and be absolutely unowned tonight.
It was TJ, by the way, in chat. TJ, of course, contributes here. Of course, he's the one that put 669 there, and I think he knows the guy. So we
can say he knows the guy. Yeah,
he's got the hookup as far as the premium as is. We got 3 games left here. Kirkwood Crunch Time crew coming in about 15 minutes or so. You got Kevin Roth holding that down, running the ship. I believe a late swap. Keith is coming in as well as Squirrelpatrol. Squirrelpatrol have been to about give or take 97 live finals. Both those guys are really, really good for tournaments. They'll talk cash as well. If you're playing cash tonight, they'll kind of sort of somewhat build your lineup. If you're paying attention, they're not going to just spoon feed it to you, but just listen, and they'll essentially give it to you. All right, Brooklyn and Houston, 230.5 is the total. Houston is a 6-point dog here as far as who's in and who's out with Brooklyn and Houston. Let's see. I'm pulling up my list. Okay, Houston is fully healthy. That's why. Yeah, both teams actually are fully healthy. Ben Simmons, I don't think is going to play another game for Brooklyn again. We'll see. Doesn't matter if he does because he plays like 12 minutes anyway. Two fully healthy teams here, Kirkwood. We do know how vulnerable Houston is defensively. They're horrendous. They give up the most steals, the most blocks, the most threes. Mikal Bridges has been awesome. He's the alpha there, biggest usage there, jumping from being the third or fourth guy on Phoenix to now the top dog for Brooklyn. Ownership has not terribly high. Like Cam Johnson, he satisfies that small forward position. He's getting 18%. He's a three-point shooter. This is a good matchup for him. Dinwiddie has been solid, but again, the tricky part with him, he's a point guard. And then there's Bridges getting less than 10% and should give a refresh because ownership stuff should be coming in shortly, unless we have it already. But I'm gonna throw it to you as I give the old lineup HQ a refresh.
Yeah, so I like this game, obviously. Like you said, there's a lot to like here from a game environment. You know, it's only Nets are 6.5 point favorites. It's in Houston, good size total, over 230. The Rockets are the worst, second worst actually now, 29th defensive rating. Give up the most steals, 29th, second most blocks, the most three-pointers. You exactly said all of that. So yeah, you want to look and pair it up, right? Like you said, Mikal Bridges has become the alpha. I mean, man, if they could, the Suns would be a lock to win it all if they could have somehow kept Bridges and I don't know, with that deal. But like people, they never understood how good like Bridges really is. And he's always had offensive game. He's just never really showed it a bunch. But so I mean, he's doing everything. He's playing massive minutes, which is awesome. He's playing an elite level of usage, and he's going to get you defensive stats. So his prices come up, and but he's absolutely in play in this matchup because this is a ceiling spot for him. Cameron Johnson, I'm fine with. Like you said, he fills that small forward spot, but that's the only reason to play him for me. I prefer guys like Claxton, although it's tough to play Claxton, but like this is a spot where he could go off with blocks and get a bunch of defensive stats. And like a part of me really wants to, like, I've been forcing it too much and it hasn't been working out so well. Dorian Finney-Smith just does nothing on offense, but he's like, he should be able to do better in this situation on this team. And like, he's not playing with Luka and doesn't have a superstar like that that's going to gather all the usage. He should be able to do better. His price is extremely low. So if you need him tonight, this is a good spot as you're ever going to get to play him. So
it's the 3-and-D spot. Like that's what DFS is. And like, you hit like threes against Houston and you steal and you block against Houston. So
and you get
he's never going to do it.
And you get defensive lapses where he might get like a backdoor cut for like some easy buckets and whatnot. So I'm interested in him tonight at low ownership tonight. So on the other side of the game, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I don't think I'm playing anybody in Houston. It's not the right slate. I think Şengün is kind of sort of somewhat interesting, but I always play Şengün too much, but 2%. Nobody's getting more than 4%. That's Jalen Green, who's fine. But again, he's a guard, and guard is just loaded. Doesn't mean you can't play him, but he's got to put up like 45. Can he? Sure. But I don't think I'm in like my single entry, 3-entry max stuff. I don't think I'm playing any. I see TJ and Chad talking about Tari Eason.
That's who I've been playing lately.
But I'm not necessarily prioritizing him. And yes, he's a good fantasy point minute player. He can fall some extra minutes, but it's not hard to get over on the field on him. Walker Kessler ruled out there for Utah. Yeah, that's that blowout on layaway. We'll talk about it in a second. And by the way, speaking of TJ, he said, is 70% Julius Randle too much? Is he crazy for having that much? I think that's a little high, but I can respect it. For what it's worth, our ownership stuff was updated quickly at 40% on DK. Barrett at 30%, Mitch Rob at 13, Randall at 12. So New York is going to be very, very popular for the right reasons.
My question is he playing quickly and Randall?
Yes, I bet he is. I mean, he's going to. There's no way he's playing like just 30% quickly. So they are gonna cross over, in my opinion. We'll let TJ answer that question. But I have nothing really to endorse as far as Houston. Outside of like a dart on Şengün and Green, that's about it. If you want to throw a piece at Tari Easton, sure, I suppose. There you go. The answer in the chat. Yeah, go ahead.
Tari's my guy. I like it, TJ.
You're not playing him tonight.
I played him the other night.
You're a child, by the way. Yeah, well, I played him the other night too, but that was a different slate. Every slate's different. And yeah, now Kelly Olynyk is probably going to get a bump for Utah. Utah still has plenty of bodies. We'll talk about that. That's the next game, actually. They have Fontecchio, they have JTA, they have Azubuike, they have Rudy Gay. Yes, TJ's got 10% Easton. That's fine. Sure, I can respect that. Anything else here as far as Brooklyn and Houston? We got 2 more games before we yield to crunch time.
Nope.
Terrell's asking about Maxey if Harden is out. Yes. But the thing is, again, guard is loaded. I liked Maxey more earlier today than I do right now. That's kind of where I'm at on Maxey. He might jump high. Well,
if Harden's out, I absolutely love him if Harden's out.
What would his projection be if Harden is out? Like 35, 40? Somewhere in there? Do we have an if then for Harden? I don't think we do for some reason. By the way, we do have an if then for Walker Kessler. No, that's Jordan Clarkson. And Jordan Clarkson, do we have news just on Kessler and not Clarkson? Was there no follow-up questions there for Utah? Because Jordan Clarkson is also questionable. Okay, so he's still questionable.
Walker Kessler's out.
Yes, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
That's the next game here. Utah versus Dallas. I kind of suggested earlier, I think Dallas just mollywops Utah. We'll see. 237 is the total. That's obviously a big boy total. Kyrie has Dallas playing faster. Dallas was one of the slowest teams in the league. Now they're kind of middle of the pack. Their defense has fallen back, the absence of DFS and other pieces. But now the offense is really, really good. They are 10-point favorites here. No Walker Kessler. Kelly Olynyk should get he's kind of fully priced. Curious what we're going to bump to. If this game stays close, not that Kessler's a big usage guy, he's rebounds and blocks and dunks basically. Helps out defensively as well. What do you have as far as this game, and how much are you prioritizing Kyrie and Luka?
It's weird, right? Because Luka's hitting builds because he's got the highest ceiling, one of the highest ceilings. His ceiling is definitely lower now with Kyrie though. We'll see big games, but I don't think we're going to see those 80 burgers that he was doing or high into the 70s very much anymore. Now Utah,
I think he did that over the weekend, didn't he?
I think he got close. He had one, but I don't think we'll see it very much.
Okay.
I said, Dean. As frequently. He did. The last time he had a 70-point game was against Detroit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if Kyrie played that game or not. But anyways, if Utah can stay in this game is going to be insanely juicy, and so Markkanen would be an awesome stud play. But the problem is that I am scared like you with this. I think Utah kind of stinks, and and now they're gonna, if they're missing Jordan Clarkson, that's gonna be, So I think if Clarkson plays, I have more interest in playing some of these guys. But if Clarkson doesn't, then if Clarkson doesn't play, then Chris Dunn rockets up for me.
Rockets
anyway.
up to what?
I think he'll be very good play tonight. I think he'll smash. So
better than Quickly?
Let me break down. No, obviously
Tyus Jones.
It's just
Javon Carter?
Not better. Okay, so it's Tyus. It's Tyus. It's Quickly, and then it's Maxey. Javon Carter is there. I don't see a massive difference between Javon Carter and Chris Dunn. There's a price difference if Clarkson was out tonight. They don't have any. What other guards do they have? Chris Dunn can produce for sure, and he's playing for
THT
for a job. Yeah, they have THT. He's terrible too.
He's not good, but they'll give him some run. Agbaji draws the start sometimes.
Agbaji will draw the start.
Yeah.
Probably.
But like you said, if Clarkson's out, that is kind of interesting. They did extend Dunn. They gave him a second 10-day. Maybe they want to get another look at him. I suppose it's possible.
It's crazy to me that he's not like he's an NBA caliber player. He just stinks on offense, but
Dunn?
like he is, yeah, he's good. I mean, he was highly, he was a top 10 pick. Like he was supposed to be really good. I remember that was when who did the Celtics draft over him? Was it?
Well, I remember, of course, Chicago drafted him.
Yeah, no, over him. They were gonna draft Dunn potentially. That wasn't Marcus Smart year, was it?
I feel like Smart is distinctly older than Dunn.
Older, yeah. I'm trying. There's somebody though that's like. I need to.
Oh, Johnny Jazang is another guy that can get some run. You're not playing him. Just thinking of guys that will get some run at guard for Utah. I don't know what Johnny Jazang looks like. Could not pick him out of a lineup. I did see him play for like the first time a couple games ago. He's in their rotation. He might do some mopping up for Utah, but we do have to move on. But give me like a final, a summary as far as this game in 30 seconds. I do agree.
I'm not gonna like this. I'm gonna like this one tonight if Clarkson's out.
I want to see what optimals look like now. I have not run that, and I'm curious what we're looking at. I'm going to add a little bit of variance to it. I'm going to cap some players, but the last game, Memphis and the Lakers, we've kind of hinted at Davis a couple of times throughout the show. 224 is the total. Memphis is a 1.5 point favorite. No Morant, no Steven Adams. He'll be back soon, but not tonight. This, of course, by the way, worth noting, an hour and a half after all the other games, at least an hour and a half. The 8:30 game, Utah and Dallas. This is a kind of sort of an island game back half of the ESPN doubleheader. We have no John Morant. Laravia is questionable. I don't know how much that matters, but did get some run the other day. Brandon Clark, I think, is done for the season. Steven Adams out. Russ, that's D'Angelo Russell, is questionable for the Lakers. Of course, LeBron is out.
Yeah, Beantown and Chess. Celtics took Jalen that year. They took Jalen. Celtics won that draft. Simmons went first.
Chose wisely.
Simmons went first. Brandon Ingram went second. Who's a loser? Brandon Ingram is such a loser after last night. I needed 2 more fantasy points from him, and that
what do you want? He tried.
He was so bad. Like, no, he's lazy. He's done. He's on. Ray
Murphy was a hero, by the way. He shot a completely meaningless 3 with like a half a second to go, down like 10 or something like that.
Yeah, people didn't like the Jaylen Brown pick. I loved it because my nephew played. I should have remembered because my nephew played AAU with Jaylen Brown, and out of Atlanta.
Jaylen Brown dunked on your nephew, crushed him.
No, he was on the same team.
Oh.
Jalen was brought in for like as like they had like their core team AU, and then they like for like this tournament, like one of like the big tournaments, Jalen played with them, like they brought him on the team. So he knows him, but anyway.
By the first couple optimals on DK, first 2 optimals on DK have 3 Knicks. The third one has 2. Anthony Davis is in the first optimal for what it's worth. It's really juicy, man. The optimal like projection as far as actual points, 321. That is a big boy
median
number. You gotta come hard tonight with your scores if you want to win. If you want to take something down, we have the Lakers, we have Memphis. We've talked about Tyus Jones several times throughout the show. Looks awesome on DK. Fanduel, more realistic asking price, not a super obvious play. Talk about Memphis and the Lakers.
Let's talk about Ja.
No, we don't have time for that.
Okay. What the hell is he doing? But anyways, all right. So, yeah, I love this game. How can you not love this game? Anthony Davis is going to smash tonight. I mean, he's going to be playing against Triple J, who's going to be hacking him. He's going to get a couple of free trips to the line, and Xavier Tillman. Anthony Davis should have a massive game. He's my favorite stat on the slate tonight. Tyus Jones, obviously, 4,900 is as close to a lock as you can get. He's a really solid NBA caliber, player. He's a luxury backup now that Ja's out. All that usage is gone. People are still going to play Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks sucks. Desmond Bane is the one you want always, you want the offense. Obviously, there's a price difference there, but yeah, I mean, do you like anybody else on the Lakers? Is my question besides Anthony Davis?
No. Yeah. I mean, if Russell played, I'm not. He's 6'3", but again, he's point guard, shooting guard. I can't do it. I can't do that. Schroeder, if Russell's I can't do it. It's Davis and Davis only. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Unless I'm playing like Showdown, Memphis and the Lakers, I'm probably gonna have to play another Laker. And it's Ty Jones. You mentioned Bane. I like Bane. Triple J. Like few players have the variance as far as potential ceiling and floor that Triple J has. Like certainly he could put up a 60-point score tonight at 7-9, and he's kind of sort of in the middle as far as star scrubs tonight. I like him a good bit. And Xavier Tillman, like as if we needed more value, he looks awesome. And what's nice about Tillman, he gets some versatility. It's not center and center only. He's power forward center only. Nice projection. The absence of Adams, the absence of Clark. Assuming he can dodge foul trouble, he can get handsy on occasion. Assuming he can dodge that, he can play up to 30 minutes tonight. We should have the crunch time guys coming in momentarily. Producer Devin right there on the fly. We got Squirrel Patrol. We have Keith. We got Roth. Man, Roth, you're going to love this slate. I think everybody's going to love this slate. This is an awesome, awesome slate tonight. It's loaded, a plethora of value. No nonsense. No Brunson, though. No Brunson.
Yeah.
So you can play quickly, Roth. You can get some quickly. Everybody's going to play him.
He's like a wannabe Jalen Brunson. I hate that guy.
Roth is going to love his lineup tonight. That's the one thing I know. He's going to be on the show, and he's going to go, oh, I love my lineup tonight.
It's like 9 out of 10 shows I feel that way, but yeah.
You have to. If you don't love your lineup tonight, you're doing something wrong because there are really, really good plays that are like 5%ers, and I'm sure Keith and Squirrel Patrol will talk about that in a second. We're happy to yield. Kirkwood, you got anything else for the people before we step aside and make way for crunch time?
Nope.
Play wherever you want.
There you go. Are you playing a drop of a blender saying play whoever you want? Is that what you just heard?
Play wherever you want.
Okay. I know somebody's playing games.
Who's doing that?
Is Devin having a good time?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
We haven't had Devin on GrindersLive in a while. Steve's on a little bit of vacation. So Devin, yeah, feel free to chime in. Have a good time there, Devin. Steve always likes to drop the gifts throughout the show too. Not to kind of raise the bar there for you, but Devin, you're on the clock to drop some gifts. That is the first portion. Oh, hit that like button. We haven't asked or begged or groveled or anything. This is free content, Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications, do all the things. That was Kirkwood. That was Dean. Don't go anywhere because now is the Fanduel sponsor crunch time. It's Kevin Roth. Roth, go for it.
It is indeed excellent stuff as always, guys. Welcome to it. It's crunch time, and it is sponsored by Fanduel, which is important. Make sure you're signed up for the Fanduel Sportsbook. If you're in a legal sports betting state, taking advantage of their fantastic bonus offer. New customers getting no sweat first bet up to $1K. Terms and conditions do apply, and I know some guys that can help you with those bets.
Kevin, your audio is a little crackly. Do you want to double check your mic while we maybe Keith can jump into some overarching thoughts?
Yeah, I can kind of just give a breakdown. There's plenty of stuff to talk about injury wise. We've got all kinds of stars ruled out on this slate. Giannis is out. Drew is out as well for Milwaukee. So all kinds of Milwaukee value popping. We've got the Memphis situation with Ja Morant out again. So going to have some great value in Memphis. Lakers looking pretty good. Still have LeBron ruled out. So AD is going to project as a really strong value again tonight. The aforementioned Jalen Brunson also out. So the Knicks coming off a double overtime game where Quickly and RJ Barrett just absolutely smashed. Both of them looking really good again. We've got LaMelo out in Charlotte. And then we've got Detroit doing the whole sit everybody tankathon thing again. We've got Bogdanovich out. Killian Hayes is out. Alec Burks is out. Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart out, and then Diallo got hurt in their last game, and he is out again. So Detroit very shorthanded. We have value projecting all over this slate. A couple of things we're still waiting on as well. James Harden still questionable in Philly, along with Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker, who missed their last game. Kyle Kuzma is still questionable as well. D'Angelo Russell questionable for the Lakers. And Utah, Jordan Clarkson is still questionable. I believe we did get Walker Kessler officially out, but Clarkson's still questionable. So all kinds of injury situations that we can take advantage of on this slate. There is value all over the place.
Okay. Ice, I assume you're going to be kind of our cash guy?
Yeah, I can go ahead and break down the cash stuff today.
Okay. We got Squirrel as well. I don't know if we said hi to Squirrel. I got booted out of the show. And hey, Squirrel, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. Interesting tournament slate. So yeah, it'll be a fun one. It's kind of getting into the March Madness, time of year for NBA as well as college.
Where like some teams are tanking, other teams are like making the push and playing their guys like 42 minutes.
Yeah, it seems to have arrived a little bit early this year. I think with the French guy whose name escapes me,
Victor Wembanyama.
Big lottery ticket. So teams, kind of like, he just went through the Detroit situation. Couldn't help but laugh at the number of guys, being sat down. But it is what it is, and it makes for a fun DFS slate.
Okay, well then let's dive right into it. Ice, if you don't mind kind of walking us through. We'll start with the FanDuel build, then I'll get Squirrel's thoughts on tournaments, then we'll kick it over to DK.
Yeah, so I mentioned tons of value everywhere. The main situation I'm still on the lookout for is James Harden questionable, because Maxey would join the ranks of all these awesome point guard plays that we already have. So Maxey is somebody I'm still considering, even though let's go ahead and go over the core tags first. Javon Carter in that situation with no Giannis, no Drew, just 4,400 here on FanDuel. Looks like an awesome value. Emmanuel quickly absolutely smashed, and it wasn't only because of the double overtime. I believe he had like 67 fantasy points at the end of regulation in that last one. Just played awesome. Price has come up on him, but again, with no Jalen Brunson, quickly should be handling the ball the majority of the time. Looks like an awesome play here for the Knicks in a fantastic matchup with Charlotte as well. Bobby Portis, really cheap here on FanDuel, just 6,200. No Giannis, a guy they lean on quite a bit whenever Giannis misses. We've got Desmond Bane at 8,200 with no John Morant. He's going to be the primary scorer here. And Anthony Davis with no LeBron James, also looking like a fantastic value. So let's go ahead and jump into some position by position stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do point guard and shooting guard together because most of these guys have dual positional eligibility. The one guy who doesn't, who I'm not really even considering, is Corey Joseph. He's only 3,900 with Javon Carter right there. I would much rather play Javon Carter. Finding the 500 to get up to Carter's is not too difficult. Other guys I'm strongly considering, I mentioned quickly already, Carter already. Let's see here. RJ Barrett. I think I would rather play him at small forward though. So a guy like DeLon Wright is who I would be considering for one of these guard positions. At 5,900, Kuzma is still questionable. If Kuzma gets ruled out, he gets an even bigger bump. We have Monte Morris already out for Washington, and they have that awesome matchup against Detroit. One of the reasons that DeLon Wright is projecting really well. And then I think for your spend up, we talked about AD as the core tag. You can consider Luka as well. He has a great matchup against Utah, but Utah has some guys with Kessler already out. Clarkson is questionable. Really concerned about the blowout there for Luka. I think he's an awesome play, but I am a little bit concerned about the blowout. I would spend up on AD before Luka, and even Embiid, especially if Harden gets ruled out. I would be looking to spend up at the big man at a big man position with all of the guard values that we have on this slate. Let's go ahead and move it on to some small forwards. I think this position is pretty straightforward. I mentioned Desmond Bane already, and then you have RJ Barrett as well at just 6,500. He was struggling for quite a while since the acquisition of Josh Hart, but we saw him finally break back out without Brunson in the last game. Same situation again, coming off a fantastic game in his last one, an awesome matchup today against Charlotte, and Jalen Brunson out again. Those are pretty much my two guys. Anything beyond that, I'm just naming names. One guy I will mention is Cam Johnson with an awesome matchup at Houston at just 6K for Brooklyn. I don't think you really need to look anywhere beyond those three. Cam Johnson, if you, for some reason, absolutely need the 500 down from Barrett, I don't mind that, or even pivoting down from Bane. Power forwards. We have Mo Wagner here, just 4,400. Wendell Carter Jr. out, so he should. In fact, we just got that confirmed. Stepping into the starting lineup. Just a standout value on the slate. You have Bobby Portis with the core tag. No Giannis. Obviously, a smash play. Great matchup for him on the other side of that game. Matchup against Orlando. And then Anthony Davis at the center position is where my lineup is going. Just some other names that you can consider at power forward and center. Jaren Jackson. Probably not a cash play for me, but I do think he has a very good game here today without John Morant. Marvin Bagley, we saw him play 36 minutes in the last game. He did not perform quite to the level that he had been, but he's still a great play. So just a couple of other options there for you if you need a different price point at power forward or center.
Okay, very good. I want to talk some tournaments here. Squirrel, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get off all this chalk. Like, these plays seem perfect. I want to play them all.
Yeah, well, and they're good plays. And NBA, you don't need to get nuts. Like, it's like the different sports, football. You want to be, you want to be expecting the unexpected. Like basketball, a lot of stuff is priced in and salary dependent. It's not a very event-driven sport, so you don't want to get off of all of the chalk. Mm-hmm. One situation that I'm doing with my lineups, and I'm playing late today, being on the show, but I'm kind of making the assumption that James Harden is out. He's questionable, but looking at the player props, it looks like it's priced in that he's out. And that's the way I'm going to do things. And if he's in, you've got plenty of games like later in the night to swap around with. So I kind of like Tyrese Maxey as a point guard on FanDuel, 6,400. He's put up like 30 plus FanDuel points in the last 4 games. So I'm kind of starting a lot of my builds with Tyrese Maxey, then Javon Carter. Who's obviously with everybody sitting in Milwaukee, he's a great play. Chalk, I'm not going to get off of. I probably am a bigger fan of Corey Joseph than most people. He's only 3,900. Detroit's still got to dribble the basketball for 240 minutes of player time. So I'm getting some Corey Joseph at the point guard position. And Emmanuel quickly as well. Shooting guard, all 3 of those guys, and Desmond Bane, and Chris Middleton. And then I like RJ Barrett probably more than most people. Again, I like Barrett more than quickly. He's a very frustrating player, but he can put up points in a lot of different ways. Put up fantasy points in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. He can't put up NBA points very well at all. So he's a very frustrating guy to roster. And you'll be sitting there just going yelling, just make a shot, make a shot. Oh, he got fouled. Make a free throw. Okay, just get some more rebounds and assists and stuff. But still, don't let me talk you off of RJ Barrett. I'm trying to say I like him a lot because he gets those rebounds, assists, and on DraftKings he can get the triple double bonus. Small forward, again, most of the guys we've talked about already. Desmond Bane, RJ Barrett, and then also adding Cam Johnson. Power forward, I'm getting a lot of Mo Wagner, probably more than anybody else on my rosters. 4,400 is just too cheap. He likes to shoot, so kind of fills a tough position. My primary spend up tonight is going to be Anthony Davis on FanDuel, and then getting a lot of Xavier Tillman as well. Also Bobby Portis and Marvin Bagley. And as the tournament play, don't be afraid to preload some Joel Embiid. Kind of again presuming that James Harden might be out.
Okay. Quick question for you. Of the chalk, and we'll just kind of say of the core plays, AD, Bane, Quickly, Portis, Carter, are there any of those guys that you're afraid of that you think this guy could sink me and maybe I have lower exposure, or you'll take all of it?
No, I've got good amounts of all of those guys. If I was going to kind of boot one and maybe pivot, maybe Anthony Davis, just because the spend ups can be more variant, I guess, than the guys who are really getting boosted, Emmanuel quickly boosted production and minutes that's way beyond what their price was expecting, if that makes sense.
Sure, because another spend up on the slate could drop 80. There's other great plays. You mentioned Embiid and some other guys that could have put up huge numbers.
Yeah, so if you're pivoting off of Anthony Davis and you're probably getting Luka, you can obviously break a slate or Embiid. So like a Luka Embiid combination could end up kind of booting Anthony Davis off the winning lineup.
Okay, quick note here that Middleton is not starting. Does this change anything? Is someone starting for him that we're interested in?
He has not been starting. I don't think he started this year, but I think this was his first time not on the injury report. So it was a thought that he might start.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that changes things dramatically.
So we did project him to start. I think we'll probably drop him 2 or 3 minutes here. But he had limited minutes upside anyway. Just still has the massive usage upside because no Giannis and Drew, obviously, still going to be in line for that 26, 27 minutes that he has been playing. But probably no chance he's getting to something like 30 minutes today. The main
Gotcha.
difference.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't started this year, not this season.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah,
FanDuel GPP question real quick, and then we'll kick it over to DK. This came from Mike. He says, what about Brolo at center for the Bucks? He's the least chalky of the bunch, and the dude can definitely put up some fancy points. Like he drains threes. He can make things happen.
I'll say of these centers, I did not mention he's the next one, but I mentioned like five different centers, like Anthony Davis, Tillman, Portis, Bagley, and Embiid. Like right after that, I've got some percent of Brook Lopez.
Okay, very good. Let's talk DK and Ice again. I think it might be the same exact guys that are kind of the core plays.
Yeah, almost the exact same. The one major difference is Tyus Jones. He's priced up on FanDuel. They did a good job there. DraftKings completely dropped the ball. Tyus Jones at 4,900. He completely went off in the last game. Should be locked in for over 30 minutes here with no Ja Morant running the show for Memphis. So Tyus Jones' price is the main difference between the two sites. Mm-hmm. Everything else is really similar. Quickly is even better price over here on DraftKings. Same thing with Marvin Bagley, just 5,500. Javon Carter at 3,700, slightly better than FanDuel. Just absolute amazing value. AD again as the top spend. No LeBron, pretty simple there. And then Desmond Bane as well. 7,700, no Ja Morant. So yes, a lot of the same names, Tyus Jones being the one main difference.
Okay. Do you want to walk us through some of the other, plays at these various positions?
Yep, I can do that. So over here at point guard, you want to lock in Javon Carter and Tyus Jones for sure. I think those are the two guys that you're playing. You put one of them in the point guard spot, one of them in the guard spot. That's pretty easy. Moving on to shooting guard, decision here for me is pretty easy as well. Emmanuel Quickly at just 5K. He's going to be the guy. Jaden Ivey, if you for some reason have a little extra money to spend at 5,800, very much in play. Desmond Bane, who I mentioned in the core plays, at 7,700 as well. And then again, same thing, keeping an eye on this Harden questionable news, because Maxey is going to project up there, certainly with Desmond Bane and Jaden Ivey, and probably fairly close to Quickly as well. If Harden gets ruled out, Maxey is going to be right there in that conversation for one of the top values on the slate. So just don't forget about him. Small forward here, RJ Barrett is the option, 5,300, just way too cheap for the role he's going to have tonight. Awesome matchup against Charlotte. I was getting Chris Middleton in some builds earlier. I probably would not play him in cash games now. Just play Barrett for the 1,100 savings. Anything beyond that, I think, is probably getting too cute. RJ Barrett just stands out as an awesome value. So let's go ahead and move it on to power forward. Mentioned Bagley with the core plays, just 5,500. Should be locked in for 30 plus minutes with Detroit being very shorthanded tonight. Bobby Portis, 6,300. No Giannis. Awesome spot for him. Jaren Jackson, who I mentioned on FanDuel, in play here as well at 7,900. Julius Randle, if you want to spend, you're probably going to have enough room for a second spend here on DK, just because there's some 3K options like Javon Carter. Julius Randle could come into that conversation at 9,900. And then moving over to center, another one of those 3K options is Mo Wagner, starting at center for Orlando with no Wendell Carter. Definitely think you get him in there. And then AD as the core play. I think those are your center and utility options. Anybody that you can play at power forward over center, you would certainly be doing that.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to reveal, but I feel like I just have the chalkiest like I have the chalkiest thing ever, but then the last play doesn't fit. Like the last piece of the puzzle is terrible. So quickly, Bane, Barrett, Bagley, Davis, Tyus, Carter. Are those guys all essentially like you play those dudes, period?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say Bane at 7,700 is somebody you could get away from. You're playing like a single entry tournament or something like that, I assume.
Yeah, but I was even just curious for people who are playing cash because like that last piece, where it leaves you is a very uncomfortable spot if you just play all those obvious plays.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw Bagley just put up 24 DK points in 36 minutes last night. So a guy like that, I wouldn't mind getting off of. Bane because of like he's a great value, but compared to somebody like Quickly or Javon Carter, he's not like the elite value. So Bane, I think you're fine pivoting off of. If you wanted to go somewhere else other than a spend up of Anthony Davis, like if you can get up to Embiid, I think that's completely fine, especially if Harden is out. And then Maxey is a guy like I really want to play Tyrese Maxey if James Harden is out. I don't know. We should get that news before lock here, but it's certainly not a guarantee. So if Maxey fits the build better than somebody like, man, I really struggle to fade Tyus Jones in this spot. And Javon Carter is so cheap, it's hard to see him failing. I don't know. Like there's so many great plays. Like even the fades are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Squirrel, let's talk about the tournament build. It seems that is everybody putting a guard at the util? Because there's like 4 kind of must-play guards. No?
Yes, but there's also 2 must-play centers, in my opinion, in Mo Wagner and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
There's value everywhere.
Squirrel. Yeah.
Hey, just a note, I'm seeing Chris Middleton as starting. So he would be starting for the first time this year. So that's a note.
Yep.
And then I'm
okay.
also seeing Kyle Kuzma as in, which I think is what we'd projected, but I think it was questionable.
Gotcha.
And Denny Avdija would have gotten a boost. Tournament. So I think the big difference between FanDuel and DraftKings, and it's been this way all season, is that DraftKings hasn't been adjusting for injury, like potential injury news as well. So the guys that are cheap because of injury situations are like must plays on DraftKings, and it really does make it a much chalkier build. I would go with more chalk, more comfortable going to chalk on DraftKings than on FanDuel. Let's see, who's the Emmanuel Quickly, I think is the guy that's probably the biggest impacted by this if you're running multiple lineups. Just because I think there's like more than $2,000 difference. I get like start your lineup with Emmanuel Quickly and play him, and like don't be shy with RJ Barrett either, because they're both like 5,300 and 5,000. So so go with those guys, Emmanuel Quickly, and then Tyus Jones. I'm preloading Tyrese Maxey because I think there's a good chance that James Harden sits. Shooting guard Desmond Bane. Getting some Jaden Ivey as well, both point guard and shooting guard. Small forward, getting a ton of RJ Barrett, getting some Chris Middleton. Now that he's in the starting lineup, I was getting him anyway. Power forward, getting more Julius Randle on DraftKings than I was on FanDuel. Let's see the price on FanDuel. Yeah, he's 10,000 on FanDuel. 9,900 on DraftKings. Just getting more of them on DraftKings. Center position, getting a lot of Bagley, Davis, Mo Wagner, Joel Embiid, preloading some Embiid with Harden potentially out, and also getting a good amount of Mitchell Robinson as well, 4,900 at the center position.
Okay, gentlemen, that leaves us with 20 whopping minutes until lock. Is there anything either of you feel you want to add before we start diving into some QQs?
Not at this time. I think when the Philly news breaks, we'll definitely have some things to analyze there. Harris and Tucker both missed last game. Harden questionable. If all 3 of those guys miss, we'll definitely want to talk about the Philly situation, I think.
Okay. Do you think we're going to get that before lock?
I think it'll be closer to lock, but I like probably right near lock is when we'll get that.
Okay, great. If and when we see that, just tell me and we'll stop whatever we're doing and we'll dive into that. For now, though, we're going to jump into those QQs. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. It's free content from 2 of the sharpest minds in the biz. And all that we ask is that we get some eyeballs. That's all our sponsor FanDuel wants. And in order to do that, we need to hit the thumbs up. Squirrel?
Just a note. I'm seeing Roddy McGruder starting for Detroit with Corey Joseph not in the starting lineup. So I knocked Corey Joseph down a little bit, but he did still play like 30 minutes last game, and they're shorthanded. So I think he's still like a plausible play, but he would not be a priority. And Magruder like never does anything. So not really a priority there either.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. Jumping back into the RG Discord here. So we will start with Crossover King. He says, Squirrel, do you think Bane and Triple J can both hit ceilings if Davis isn't crushing?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think you can play Bane and Jaren Jackson and not necessarily run it back with Anthony Davis. But I mean, he is a good player to run back with, and he's well priced for his potential today. And Anthony Davis can go nuts, particularly on FanDuel with those blocks. So yeah, I mean, you can like Jaren Jackson and Anthony Davis is like a high upside lineup with the blocks and steals on FanDuel. So something to keep in mind.
Okay, great. Arlo says DK Cash, Ice, you want Portis Bane or Randall Robinson?
First one.
We'll go to NBA DFS. He says, how about Jalen McDaniel? Is he in play for the Sixers if Harris and Tucker sit again? He's 4K on FanDuel.
I'm not getting I'm going to go with no. Like not a priority. I would prioritize like Maxey and Embiid.
Okay. AO, I'm jumping on over to the YouTube chat. AO says your favorite value guard plays on DK. Quickly, Bane, Tyus, Carter, and then what was it? Maxey was the other one if Embiid is out.
Yep. Nailed it.
There you go. There's 5.
And
but you can only play 4. Yeah, you can only play 4 or maybe 3 if you want to play double center. Let's see. Adam says 4,600 at the forward spot on DK. I'll call this a tournament question, Squirrel. 4,600 at the forward spot.
The forward spot, 4,600. Let's see. Who am I getting? At the forward spot, I'd try Dylan Brooks.
All right. Caleb says 3,100 on DK. Bridges or Beal? Those must be 2 separate questions. So we'll just go to that question, which was Bridges or Beal. Ice, Bridges. You know what? That's not an ice question. That's a tournament question for sure. Squirrel, Bridges or Beal?
I'm getting Bradley Beal.
Okay, nice. Flying Armband says any Mikal Bridges or Terry Eason love?
I always like Terry Eason. I'm not getting a ton of either one of those guys. But I mean, I think they're both reasonable tournament plays. Like, don't let me talk you off of them. I think they'll be lower owned maybe than they should be. So that's a reason to play them in tournaments.
Okay. Speaking of lower owned than what they should be here, Javon Watt says, how about a pivot to Shay? Shay, you know who the hell he is. He's low, like he's super low owned, I imagine, as far as the spend ups go.
I'm not getting him projecting that well. He's always a reasonable tournament play. But I've got other spend up priorities in my lineups.
Quick note on him. Over the weekend, they did announce that they would be limiting his minutes throughout the rest of the season, but then he went and played 36, 37 minutes in the last game. So we don't really know what limiting minutes means, but just something to note there. There is some risk.
Josh Giddey's minutes have been all over the place. It's the French guy. Just blame him for everything going on.
It's all about the French guy. Taylor says, hey, as much as
we did get Tobias Harris news. Tobias is in, but I have not seen anything else come down for Philly just yet.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Tobias being in does change a few things, though, because were we planning on him being out?
So we have them all projected in right now. Things only change if guys are ruled out.
Gotcha. All right. Taylor says, as much as it sucks to pay more for these guys like Tyus quickly on FanDuel, it makes it more interesting on FanDuel because they might come in a little bit lower owned. Squirrel, you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I mean, they're good good plays, so I wouldn't shy away from them.
Okay.
James Harden out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Go with your
So,
Maxey.
So fire
so
up
now
on Maxey.
Maxey becomes like, where would you put him in this list of great plays that we've got already?
Yeah, good question.
I would say I'd put him pretty high because like 14 minutes, 13 minutes to adjust. Like it's probably not going to be fully adjusted. I like Maxey a lot.
I do as well. It just depends on if you have the money to get up. Like, I'm fading none of Quickly, Carter, or Jones is comfortable, but Maxey is absolutely in the conversation with all three of those guys. So I think you have like 4 must-play guys for pretty much 3 spots. It has me considering, like, even Luka doesn't help. Like, pivoting from AD to Luka doesn't help because Luka's also a guard. So you're just going to have tough decisions to make. If I had to rank them, Maxey's probably 3rd for me, slightly ahead of Tyus, but I mean, like, not playing $4,900 Tyus Jones seems crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Squirrel, how much Maxey are you getting to?
I'm getting a lot of Maxey. Let's see. I'm getting more on FanDuel than on DraftKings. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of them. I think the other guards are better priced. I mean, Maxey's cheaper on DraftKings than on FanDuel, but like the other guards are like more cheaper for their projection.
Yeah.
I'm less on DraftKings, and I think it's a Tyus Jones situation on DraftKings. But I'm still getting a lot of Maxey on DraftKings.
Okay. It's just that last spot. Like, I've got Porzingis in my lineup. I don't want to freaking play Porzingis. My lineup should be better than it is considering all this value. I'm not thrilled with what we got here, but we got a little time still. Jumping back over to the RG Discord here and scrolling up just a wee bit. DKGPP Squirrel. I mean, this is kind of what we were just talking about. Are you locking in 4 guards, Squirrel? Carter, Quickly, Jones, and Maxey.
I would be playing 3 of those guys. Actually, I probably like Javon Carter the least out of Carter, Quickly, Jones, and Maxey. So yeah, take that for what it is.
Okay. FanDuel cash question. Here we go. 3v3. Wright, Quickly, AD, or Luka, Middleton, Portis.
First one.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I'm a little hesitant on Middleton. The starting thing does help me feel better about it. Like, he does have a chance to play 30 minutes in this one. But the first one's really good too. Okay.
All right. FanDuel GPP, love Tyus, just $200 more, and fading Quickly chalk after his outlier game over the weekend and a mini stack with AD. So that was a question, Squirrel. It was kind of a statement. But
they're pivoting from Quickly to who?
To Tyus.
I don't know. It's tough to get away from Manuel Quickly. But yeah. And actually, that was just a note, like, on that game. I probably didn't mention like Mitchell Robinson enough as a tournament play. Charlotte can't rebound, so and like Mitchell Robinson just piles up blocks. So good tournament play for FanDuel.
Okay, very good. DK Cash question: Carter Randall or Maxey Triple J?
That was FanDuel.
It was DK Cash, Carter Randall or Maxey Triple J.
I think I like the second one better. Projections might not agree with that, but that's where I'm at.
All right. Question from Raj, and it is very specific, and I like it. I'll give this to Ice because you're a part of the projections team. Does Middleton get more than 27 minutes tonight as a starter?
I'll take the over on 27, but I will take the under on 30.
Okay. Yeah. You'll take the over by a hair. All right. I like it. Carolina guy says, FanDuel single entry, Squirrel. I got 68 hundo left and I need a shooting guard. And I think he's already got Maxey.
Let's see, 6,800 at shooting guard. Already got Maxey. Oh, Chris Middleton.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Jordan Clarkson is out. I don't think that changes anything cash-wise. Let me just quickly check over some salaries here.
Please.
Squirrel, if you have any thoughts on tournaments, well.
Yeah, I think it's a boost for Taylor Horton Tucker. I mean, like the Utah guys were already getting a little bit of a boost for Walker Kessler being out, and this isn't like totally unexpected. So I think Taylor Horton Tucker and like Lauri Markkanen are both good tournament plays. I don't like love that game overall, but it's particularly at FanDuel, and then Kelly Olynyk a little bit on DraftKings.
Yeah, nothing's going to pop for cash. Chris Dunn up to 4,800, so he's no longer 3K. THT's 6,400 on DK. Not in the cash conversation. FanDuel Dunn is priced up. THT at 6,300. Probably not going to. None of them are going to make a cash game conversation.
With that game, if I'm playing with one guy from that game, I might play like a few guys because it's like there's no like big like glaring mispricings in that game. So like maybe your path to like that game, like doing really well, it's like that goes into overtime or like shoots way over the total.
Yeah. Kind of a long-term question. I don't know if you guys know the answer to this off the top of your head, but since the Mavs got Kyrie, I know that they were one of the slowest teams with Luka just, plotting it up the court every time. Have they sped up their play since getting him?
Yes, significantly. So this is, and their defense has also fallen off a cliff. So this is actually what it's. If the blowout risk wasn't so high, like if Utah was full strength, this would be my favorite game of the night, just because of the way Dallas plays now. But I'd be very concerned about the widespread there.
Okay, very good. Back to the QQs. We've got 6 minutes left here. Where were we? DK Cash, Wagner or Carter? This was also a DK GPP question. So, Ice, Cash first.
Yeah. Man. They're both just such great value. It's hard to pick one, but I understand the dilemma. It's the 4 guards versus 2 centers thing. I'm going to lean to Wagner. Just feel like centers are like they can pile up fantasy points in a lot of different ways. Rebounds, blocks. He can score, obviously. So I think Wagner's slightly safer, but it's really close. Squirrel, you got a GPP lean?
Yeah, Wagner as well. Just because I've got him projected a little bit higher. And I think I maybe like the other centers a little bit, or the other guards. So I lean Wagner.
That's true. That's a good point about the fact that you can get rid of Carter and there's still a ton of great other guard plays, like Maxey or, that you could put in instead. So that's a good point. Is Carter a guy who's taking it up the court and being the primary ball handler, or is he going to sit in the corner and pull like a nothing?
Yeah, he's going to handle the ball unless Middleton does a lot more of it. But yeah, he's the guy.
Whew, okay, all right. FanDuel Cash, quickly Brooks or Bane and Cam Johnson?
Second one.
All right.
Not a fan of Dylan Brooks.
All right. This is a FanDuel question. Maxey or Middleton straight up at 6,400 on FanDuel? I feel like we're pro Maxey here, right?
Yeah, I like Maxey a little bit more.
Yeah. JM says, is Maxey a FanDuel Cash must for you, Ice?
It's hard to call him a must because of how much value there is at the position. He would be a priority for me, but not a must. Is how I'll phrase that.
Right. Yep. DK GPP, Cam Johnson or Kelly O? Oh, it's some names we haven't seen. I feel like all the names have been the same. Cam Johnson or Kelly O?
I like Cam Johnson.
Okay. DK Cash, Bane and Portis or Maxey Zinger?
I really like Bane and Portis, but yeah, I mean for cash, I would go the first one.
Yeah, this is where I'm landing in my tournament lineup, and that's how you know I'm a chalk donkey. That's right where I'm at. Squirrel, on FanDuel, is it okay to play quickly and RJ together?
Yes.
Okay. BK says, does all the games, especially road games played for Philly, scare you off Embiid or make you lean AD even more? I didn't quite understand that one. Any reason you're scared of Embiid?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
especially not without Harden.
Yep. All right. FanDuel Cash 2v2. We've got 3 minutes until lock. Make sure you get those lineups in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the YouTube for us. Barrett Tillman or Cam Johnson and Portis?
The second one.
NBA DFS. This is a great question. With the Harden news, does Embiid jump AD for you guys?
No. I think you can play either one. My thought is like LeBron's already out. So that's an impact for Anthony Davis. I still like Anthony Davis a little bit more. AD is like cheaper. He's like 10-8 on DraftKings. Embiid is 11-5. So yeah, and he's cheaper on both sites. He's like 300 cheaper on FanDuel. So I still like AD a little bit more.
Okay. It's just occurring to me that there should absolutely be an AD and Embiid tournament build, right? You've got all the guard value if you want. Plug in the 3 cheapest guards, play both of those guys at center, and there's probably some great pieces around that. And I'm mad at myself for not realizing that until like a minute before lock.
You got 2 minutes, make it work.
I can't do it. Let's see. FanDuel GPP, do you like Bridges or Markkanen better?
Ooh, probably Markkanen.
Okay. DK GPP, Edwards or Markkanen?
DK GPP. Anthony Edwards or Markkanen. I would go with I'd still go with Markkanen.
Okay, this is an interesting question. FanDuel GPP, considering the blowout risk in the Dallas game, is there anyone there on the radar you're thinking about some court time, that might normally not get it? Or is that just is it trying too hard on a slate where there's so many good plays already?
Yeah, we've already kind of got that with the value we have.
Yeah, that's all right.
Too cute for this slate.
Yeah. Sean says, hey, if you said it, I missed it. How about Jaden Ivey in a FanDuel GPP?
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Jepst, Barrett Zinger, less than a minute until lock. Barrett Zinger or Middleton Triple J?
Is that cash?
It was GPP, I believe. Yeah, DK GPP, Barrett Zinger or Middleton Triple J? Squirrel.
Sorry, I thought it was cash.
Oh no, it was a GPP. It was Barrett Porzingis or Middleton Triple J.
Barrett Porzingis.
Okay, very good. Is Shake in play? Beantown says. Any Shake?
He's min price on DK anyway, where I'm looking. Certainly not for cash.
I feel like he used to get things done, like when he would get minutes. Am I making that up?
He did have a good stretch earlier this year when Harden was out. So
yeah. All right. Hey, we hit the lock. That was excellent work. Like that was good stuff. I feel like everyone knows the right plays and everyone knows the pivots from those plays. Like that's our job, and I feel like you guys did an excellent job of it today. I think with that, we can bounce on out of here. Seeing if we missed anything. No, I think we're good here. So for Ice, for Squirrel, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.